Hi, this is Bruce again. Today I'm going to be looking at the 1960s section of 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. Here we go. Joan Baez by Joan Baez. Elvis is Back by Elvis Presley. Miriam Makeba by Miriam Makeba. A Day with the Everly Brothers by the Everly Brothers. Back at the Chicken Shack by Jimmy Smith. At Newport by Muddy Waters. Sunday at the Village Vanguard by Bill Evans. Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music by Ray Charles. Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs. Jazz Samba by Stan Getz and Charlie Bird. Nightlife by Ray Price. With the Beatles by the Beatles. Freewheelin' by Bob Dylan. A Christmas Gift for You by Phil Spector and various artists. Live at the Harlem Square by Sam Cooke. Black Saint and the Sinner Lady by Charles Mingus. Live at the Apollo by James Brown. Getz Gilberto by Stan Getz and Yael Gilberto. A Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. Olympia 64 by Jacques Brel. Rockin' Soul by Solomon Burke. A Girl Called Dusty by Dusty Springfield. Rolling Stones by Rolling Stones. I've Got a Tiger by the Tail by Buck Owens. Live at the Star Club Hamburg by Jerry Lee Lewis. Here Are the Sonics by the Sonics. Bringing It All Back Home by Bob Dylan. Otis Blue Sings Soul by Otis Redding. Today by the Beach Boys. A Love Supreme by John Coltrane. Live at the Regal by B.B. King. Rubber Soul by the Beatles. Bird Janch by Bird Janch. Mr. Tambourine Man by the Byrds. Highway 61 Revisited by Bob Dylan. My Generation by The Who. Revolver by the Beatles. Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. Fred Neil by Fred Neil. Fifth Dimension by the Byrds. Blonde on Blonde by Bob Dylan. Black Monk Time by the Monks. Face to Face by the Kinks. If You Can Believe Your Eyes and Ears by the Mamas and the Papas. Midnight Ride by Paul Revere and the Raiders. Freak Out by the Mothers of Invention. Aftermath by the Rolling Stones. Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme by Simon and Garfunkel. Psychedelic Sounds of the 13th Floor Elevators by the 13th Floor Elevators. John Miles Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton by John Miles Blues Breakers. The Yardbirds, aka Roger the Engineer by the Yardbirds. Wild as the Wind by Nina Simone. Beach Samba by Astrid Gilberto. Chelsea Girl by Nico. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. Electric Music for the Mind and Body by Country Joe and the Fish. Again by Buffalo Springfield. Safe as Milk by Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band. Moby Grape by Moby Grape. Da Capo by Love. Triangle by Beau Brummels. Headquarters by the Monkees. Goodbye and Hello by Tim Buckley. Forever Changes by Love. Disraeli Gears by Cream. Piper at the Gates of Dawn by Pink Floyd. Sell Out by The Who. The Velvet Underground and Nico by The Velvet Underground. Frank Albert Sinatra and Antonio Carlos Jobim by Frank Sinatra. The Doors by The Doors. Younger Than Yesterday by The Byrds. Groovin' by the Young Rascals. Surrealistic Pillow by Jefferson Airplane. Something Else by the Kinks by the Kinks. Sunshine Superman by Donovan. I'm a Lonesome Fugitive by Merle Haggard. Are You Experienced by Jimi Hendrix. I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night by Electric Prunes. Don't Come Home a Drinkin' with Lovin' on Your Mind by Loretta Lynn. Call of the Valley by Shiv Kumar Sharma, Brij Bhushan Kabra, and Hari Prasad Chaurasia. White Light, White Heat by the Velvet Underground. Access Bold as Love by Jimi Hendrix. I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You by Aretha Franklin. Beggar's Banquet by the Rolling Stones. Traffic by Traffic. Hangman's Beautiful Daughter by the Incredible String Band. Village Green Preservation Society by the Kinks. Sounds of India by Ravi Shankar. Os Mutantes by Os Mutantes. Electric Ladyland by Jimi Hendrix. Songs of Leonard Cohen by Leonard Cohen. At Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash. Eli and the 13th Confession by Laura Nyro. Lady Soul by Aretha Franklin. Vincebus Eruptum by Blue Cheer. Notorious Bird Brothers by the Byrds. Cheap Thrills by Big Brother and the Holding Company. United States of America by United States of America. Grease Grease by Dr. John. Inagata Davida by Iron Butterfly. SF Sorrow by The Pretty Things. Bookends by Simon and Garfunkel, Ogden's Nut Gone Flake by The Small Faces, music from Big Pink by the band, Truth by Jeff Beck, Caetano Veloso by Caetano Veloso, Scott 2 by Scott Walker, Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies, Astral Weeks by Van Morrison, Sweetheart of the Rodeo by the Byrds, The Beatles, aka The White Album by the Beatles, We're Only in It for the Money by Mothers of Invention, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere by Neil Young, Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band, Bayou Country by Creedence Clearwater Revival, Crosby, Stills and Nash by Crosby, Stills and Nash, Blood, Sweat and Tears by Blood, Sweat and Tears, Gilded Palace of Sin by Flying Burrito Brothers, At San Quentin by Johnny Cash, Green River by Creedence Clearwater Revival, Abbey Road by the Beatles, Tommy by The Who, In a Silent Way by Miles Davis, Odessa by the Bee Gees, Basket of Light by Pentangle, Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones, Five Leaves Left by Nick Drake, Dusty in Memphis by Dusty Springfield, From Elvis in Memphis by Elvis Presley, The Velvet Underground by the Velvet Underground, Happy Trails by Quicksilver Messenger Service, Led Zeppelin by Led Zeppelin, The Band by The Band, Led Zeppelin 2 by Led Zeppelin, Kick Out the Jams by MC5, Cloud 9 by The Temptations, Stand by Sly and the Family Stone, Happy Sad by Tim Buckley, Chicago Transit Authority by Chicago Transit Authority, known as Chicago, Unhalf Bricking by Fairport Convention, Elephant Mountain by the Youngbloods, Hot Buttered Soul by Isaac Hayes, Live Dead by the Grateful Dead, Arthur or the Decline and Fall of the British Empire by the Kinks, In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson, Songs from a Room by Leonard Cohen, Liege and Leaf by Fairport Convention, Scott 4 by Scott Walker, The Stooges by the Stooges, Or by Alexander Skip Spence, Hot Rats by Frank Zappa. And that's it for the 1960s. I'll be back with the 1970s sometime soon, and I'm sorry for any mistakes I made.